Hi, welcome to my complete Fugue guide. Fugue, or Fugue, regardless of what you call her, will be our newest 5-star coming in the second phase of version 2.7. She is a very strong unit looking to be the 5-star counterpart to the Super Break Enabler role. In this video, I'll be going through everything you need to know on how to build and play Fugue, covering her best Litecoins, Relic sets, Planar Ornaments, teams, and many more. Before we start, I'll be giving away a supply pass / welcoming to my subscribers at 6k subs, so make sure you subscribe. Starting off, what does Fugue actually do? Fugue is a 5-star fire unit following the path of Nihility. Fugue's skill, Virtue Beckons Bliss, makes one ally Phoxian Prayer for 3 of her turns. When this is active, the buffed ally will get an increase of break effect while allowing them to break enemies regardless of their element, but at a 50% of the original rate. In addition, when the ally attacks, she also reduces the enemy's defense while also gaining an enhanced basic attack. The enhanced basic attack simply makes it blast instead of single target. Fugue's ultimate, Solar Splendor Shines Upon All, simply does damage to all enemies while reducing toughness regardless of element. Fugue's talent, Fortune Follows Where Virtue Spreads, makes all enemies gain extra toughness and grants all allies super break as well. And Fugue's technique, Percipient Shine, basically dazes the target in the overworld, and when entering battle, she action advances and inflicts 1 instance of her skill's defense reduction to all enemies. Now for bonus trace abilities. Redentia Renaissance, which additionally delays the enemies when they are weakness broken. Sylvian Enigma increases her own break effect while gaining a skill point after her first initial skill. And Vecta Primordia, which increases all other allies' break effect when enemies get weakness broken, with a further increase if Fugue has 220% break effect or higher. Overall, Fugue has a relatively simple kit, but don't let that fool you into thinking that she is weak, as being simple could also mean that everything in her kit gets activated without many conditions, allowing for high or permanent uptime on her buffs. As you can see from her kit, while her buffs aren't for everyone, for those that can fully use it, it is really strong, and those units really appreciate the simplicity of Fugue's kit. And for those that don't know what extra toughness is, it is simply just another small toughness bar after the enemy's weakness is already broken. This can be broken again, proccing all the weakness break effects again while still in the weakness broken state. As for trace leveling priorities, you want to prioritize her skill and talent, then the rest can actually be ignored as basic and ultimate skill of attack, which isn't worth building on Fugue. Moving on to how to actually build Fugue, beginning with her best Litecoins. As per usual, her best assault will be a signature Litecoin, Long Road Leads Home. This increases the break effect and increases break damage taken by the enemies after gaining weakness broken. On theme, a very simple Litecoin, but again, it provides the exact things Fugue wants to improve her teams. As for other options, S5 Resolution will be an insane option on her too, as well it is just a broken Litecoin overall, decreasing defense for your team. Otherwise, S5 Tutorials will also be a very strong option as it helps with her effect hit rate requirements and gains energy for more frequent ultimates. S5 Solitary will be good in pure friction, and S5 Fermata is also acceptable as a break effect stat stick. Now for Fugue's best relic sets and Planar Ornaments. She doesn't really have an ideal relic set yet, so for now her best install will actually be a 2-piece of any break effect and speed sets. But 4-piece Cavalry will be a decent option too if you have insane substats on them. Do note, 4-piece Watchmaker does not work on her as she does not use her ultimate on her allies. And as for her best Planar Ornaments, against Fire Week or in a Firefly team, Kalpagni will be a best in slot. Otherwise, for every other scenario, Talia will be the better option. Next up is Fugue's best Relic and Planar stats. For stat requirements, we are looking at first reaching 220% break effect to fully activate her major trace, then going for 67% effect hit rate to ensure her skill's defense downs gets applied, and then going for a decently high speed like 145 and over, ideally reaching 160 will be the best. For our best main stats, we are looking at our EHR, Defense or HP Body, Speed Boots, Defense or HP Balls, and ERR/BE Rope. As for the body, if you did not reach the effect hit rate requirements through substats or Litecoin, EHR body will be the best, otherwise going defensive is ideal. As for boots, speed boots is a given. As for balls, Defensive stats will be better as the damage is not significant enough to warrant a fire damage bonus or attack, and for rope, break effect is usually better until you reach 220%, then ERR can be considered. Moving on to Fugue's best Eidolons, E1 is absolutely insane as it increases weakness break efficiency to the skilled ally, which Ranmei is the only other unit able to do the same. E2 regenerates more energy after enemies gets weakness broken, while also advancing the action of all allies after using her ultimate. E3 and 5 are just trace levels. E4 increases the skilled allies break damage dealt, and E6 increases her own break efficiency, while also making her skill applied to all allies. Overall, Fugue has decently strong Eidolons. Going for E1 or E2 is absolutely fine as those are pretty strong, but Fugue works just as well at E0. As for the age-old question of E1 versus S1, E1 will be the clear winner this time as break efficiency is just such a rare and strong stat that it really beats anything the Lycan can provide. Now for Fugue's best teams, she'll be best played as a super break buffer / enabler for Rappa and Buhyo teams, as she provides better buffs than HMC for these two carries. As for Firefly teams, she can be a replacement for HMC, but I do want to note for Firefly specifically, HMC and Fugue are basically the same power level, so do keep that in mind. And if you do not have Ranmei, Fugue will also be okay as a replacement for her too. For other teams, Himiko Break is a really strong option too, as Exo Toughness Break does count as another talent point for Himiko, allowing her to have even more follow-up attacks. Xueyi and Sushan will also be enabled by Fugue for more fun teams. And one more team I want to mention are Acheron teams. Since Fugue is a Nihility unit, she can be used very well in Acheron teams, especially if Acheron is at E2, which then basically allows you to run Ranmei as well, so if you build a little bit of break effect on Acheron, she could actually be a super break damage carry as well. So yeah, Fugue is looking like a very strong super break buffer / enabler. A 5-star version of Harmony MC was long overdue, but as they say, better late than never. Regardless, what Fugue's release means isn't HMC getting power crept, but rather the ability to play super break teams on both sides now. This should be a very strong upgrade, as before we always had to separate and mix and match when we wanted to use super break on both halves. But what I really like and happy about is how they make Fugue a side grade rather than an upgrade for Firefly teams, really keeping it canon, and it is still pretty wholesome.